What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Nintendo's outlook for 2020, going over some of the big games that I wanted to discuss further and just talk about what could be coming out for the second half, especially with these rumors going around with Mario and the such. So let's just go ahead and give a little recap of what we've already gotten here first, and that is Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Animal Crossing New Horizons. All of those games are out and are great, and Animal Crossing New Horizons is one of the best games that I've ever played in that style. Seriously, there's no combat or anything like that, but you just find yourself playing it over and over and day after day after day, kind of going at your own pace and just continuously getting things and playing the game. It really is very addictive. It's selling extremely well, so I really love what they did with Animal Crossing. Releasing that in March was perfect for the game. I think that a lot of people are having fun at this point. A lot of quarantines going on, and you can just sit there and play Animal Crossing all day. So I do love that game. Also, Tokyo Mirage Sessions was absolutely awesome at the beginning of the year as well. But what can we look forward to? What else is Nintendo planning for 2020? We got a little snippet of it at the Nintendo Direct Mini, where they showed off a bunch of cool third-party games like Burnout Paradise. We also have the Trails of Cold Steel game coming, King's Bounty 2 coming in 2020. There's a lot of different games that Nintendo showed off, and I think that the big one out of that was Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, which I've already talked about multiple times on this channel since we got that Nintendo Direct Mini recently. But I did want to say May 29th, that is the date for this game. This is a must-play remake for the Nintendo Switch. Yes, remake for the Nintendo Switch of the original game. Monolith Soft put their all into the original Xenoblade Chronicles, and it is a little rough around the edges on the Wii and the new Nintendo 3DS. And of course, if you play the backwards compatibility or Wii download on the Wii U, it's a little rough. It's still the same game there, but it seems like they're taking all of the feedback and kind of taking what they can do with the game, the UI, menu, text, all that good stuff, and they're just sharpening it up. They're making it look so much better. The game's graphics look so much better. It's way more clear. It is going to be a fantastic game. So if you have not played Xenoblade yet, this is definitely the place to start. I know a lot of you guys have checked out Xenoblade 2 or saw the game and weren't sure if you want to get into that because it's the second one. Now we have the first one on the Nintendo Switch, and I think that it's going to be a hit on there. It's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you guys check out Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, May 29th. Not a bad 1-2 punch pretty much at the end of March with Animal Crossing New Horizons, and then into Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition on May 29th. But let's talk about this just a little bit more, right? Because we do have some other games like Trials of Mana that are coming out in April and all of that, but I think that May is an interesting month because, once again, Xenoblade, but also because of some of the other games that we have here. Borderlands, the Legendary Collection, and BioShock. The release dates for those games are on May 29th, so we're getting all of those games. Xenoblade, 3 Borderlands games, and also 3 BioShock games on May 29th. And to me, that's awesome. That's providing so much variety because not everybody's going to be into the JRPG. Not everyone's going to be into a shooter RPG. And then BioShock is like its own little thing when it comes down to how that game plays. So there's a lot of variety for people out there. But for me, Borderlands, the Legendary Collection, that I'm actually really excited to play because they talked about it recently. The people who are developing this game, it's a developer that I never heard about, but it seems like they're doing some quality work there. They're called Turn Me Up, which is an interesting and cool name for a development studio. And they talked about recently, they say that they worked tirelessly with 2K and Gearbox to bring these games over to Nintendo Switch. It's going to be in full 1080p, 30 frames per second with no downgrading of the art assets at all, and it includes all of the Game of the Year stuff and DLC things that are in the game. And check this out, it's got motion controls on the Nintendo Switch as well, so they built that into there. May 29th. I'm looking forward to maybe checking that out. I might want to play some Borderlands with some motion control on there. But Borderlands, the pre-sequel, that's a game that I've never beat. Borderlands 2, I beat that game. Borderlands 1 beat that, but I haven't played through all the different scenarios and different types of characters in Borderlands 2, so I definitely want to go through that game and play it again, especially with a lot of the ninja here in the village. We can get some Borderlands game nights going on, so that's going to be interesting and a lot of fun as well. Nintendo finally gets its debut for the BioShock franchise, which is also really good, and I think that BioShock Infinite, that is going to be a killer for people to play. And of course BioShock 1, that's always a classic that started the whole thing, and I think that some people probably underrate BioShock 2. It's not as bad as some people make it out to be. So 2 really good collections, 6 games in total, and also with Xenoblade, 7 games that are coming out on May 29th. That is a lot for people to go out there and play. Now I wanted to talk about some of the other games that kind of have like a blanket 20 2020, then get into some of the bigger games that we've talked about before or that are rumored, but we could see resurface in the second half for Nintendo. So No More Heroes 3, that's a game that looks really good. We've got multiple trailers on that game, but we actually need to see some gameplay. Still set for 2020, but I'm looking forward to that one. Bravely Default 2, there's a demo out right now on the Nintendo Switch eShop, and stop what you're doing. But no, still watch this video, but stop what you're doing afterwards, okay? After you're done watching this, and go download the demo. The demo is absolutely fantastic. It is a great RPG, fantastic voice acting, fantastic gameplay, really in depth, a lot of different strategy that you can use. It is a fun game. It doesn't hold your hand in the demo. They want you to use all the different strategies. There's super bosses in there. There is a regular boss battle for you to play. There's some side quests for you to do. Great demo, and we can give them feedback afterward, kind of let them know like, hey, this is what you need to touch up or not. Then we'll probably get another demo which transfers over to the main game. So really looking forward to playing Bravely Default. That is 2020, and remember, that is Square Enix and their team's kind of working on that, Team Asano and everything, but Nintendo is publishing that as a first party game here in the West. So that's awesome as well. Ninjala, that's going to be a free-to-play game that we found out, and they got a brand new like CG trailer that they just put out, which is pretty crazy, and people are excited about the characters and personality in Ninjala after seeing that. But free to play, so we'll see how they microtransaction or monetize that game. But you don't need Nintendo Switch Online to play that game, so if you don't have Nintendo Switch Online, you can still play it. You don't have to have that. So awesome stuff there. Now let's go ahead and move into these next games here that haven't been set for 2020 but have been rumored, and a lot of people have been talking about them. So we're talking about Bayonetta 3. Every single time that they talk about this game, hey, everything's going good. When Astral Chain came out, hey, everything's going good on Bayonetta 3. And I think that this is finally the year that they show off Bayonetta 3 and what this game is about. I think it's going to be revolutionary. Bayonetta is my favorite action game franchise of all time. It's hard for me to play any other action games because Bayonetta is just that good. Still to this day, how many years later, 10 years later, Bayonetta to me is still the queen of action games. Still the queen and king of action games when it comes down to it. Bayonetta 2 is my favorite action game of all time. Absolutely love it. So I think Bayonetta 3 is going to be mind-blowing when they show that off, and I think it's going to be 2020. Shin Megami Tensei 5. The game was announced way too early because guess what? It's Atlas. Full production on that game started in 2018. So we're going on more than a year of full production. So it does seem like we could see something mid this year or late this year, maybe for a 2020 release. 2 to 3 year development cycle from initial concept planning in 2017. Does seem like they might be having that game ready to go and show off. Maybe they show it off starting this summer and it releases in the fall. Not really sure, but that could be a game that Nintendo really promotes and gets up there to be one of their big titles. It's a brand new big Shin Megami Tensei game exclusive on the Nintendo Switch. That's definitely worth promoting and showing off more. Next up is the fabled Metroid Prime Trilogy HD. Everyone is waiting for this one here. Look guys, I think it's going to happen, but we just gotta wait and see what's going on with Metroid Prime 4. That's what screwed this one up, was Metroid Prime 4 getting scrapped and canned in terms of the original development team with Bandai Namco and being moved over to Retro Studios. I think once they have something to show us on Metroid Prime 4, I think we can finally see what they're going to show us for Metroid Prime Trilogy HD and finally get some Metroid love on the Nintendo Switch. Now next up after this guys is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel. Now there is plenty of speculation that this is going to be a 2020 game, but there's a lot of people who think it's going to be 2021, and I'm probably going to do a whole separate video on this guys, but I don't think that there's any set terms of date with this game just yet. There's a target what they want to hit, but Legend of Zelda games will launch when they're ready to launch. So I think that the release date is when it's ready. So if it's ready in 2020 and they can get it going and get it out, then it'll be 2020. But if it's not ready in 2020 and they have more stuff that they need to do or other things that they need to add in order to make it a better game, then it's going to be 2021. There is no set lock. Now there's a target I'm pretty sure that they're aiming for, but they need to make sure that the game is ready. So I'll talk about that in a whole separate video. But yeah, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel launches when it's ready to go, but it is possible for 2020 or 2021. Maybe they want to do an anniversary thing in March. They did launch Animal Crossing back in March, so they're not afraid to launch big titles in March, so it could be March 2021, but we don't know at this point. We're gonna have to wait and see. Now, the final thing that I want to talk about is a video that we discussed, talked about it in a live stream. We also talked about it in a separate video that I did recently, and that is this Super Mario HD Collection rumored game. So this is going to be multiple different games here, right? We have Mario 64 that's going to be in HD. We have Super Mario Sunshine that's going to be in HD, Super Mario Galaxy 1, Super Mario Galaxy 2, and also Super Mario 3D World Deluxe. It's going to get that deluxe treatment where they're going to add in new levels and other things like that. Plus, we also got a brand new Paper Mario. This is all based on the rumors here. And I think that with the 35th anniversary that is upon us, I think that that can definitely happen. We're going to get some type of Mario games when it comes to HD versions. And this is just something that so many people reported on. And I understand being skeptical or whatever the case is, but Nintendo has been porting games to Nintendo Switch. And I think Nintendo is honestly looking to make the Switch the best Nintendo system of all time when it comes to content. They're looking to get as much content as they can from their biggest and baddest franchises, and even get older games over on the Nintendo Switch in terms of what they've done. And if Nintendo brings over all of these different 3D Mario games in HD, I'm pretty sure most people who have held out on getting a Switch at this point will go out there and buy a Switch with these games. And that could be the big holiday games, in my opinion, as well. We could just see this rush of Mario, which always sells systems. And yes, Super Mario Galaxy 1 and Super Mario Galaxy 2 in HD remastered, and they make it much better in terms of things. That's going to be a system seller for many people because those were some of the best 3D Mario games of all time. So I can definitely see Nintendo tapping into that base, and why not at this point with the 35th anniversary of the Nintendo Switch? Nintendo's Mario team, what have they been doing since Odyssey? It could easily have been all of these games here in terms of remastering them and getting them ready to go on the Nintendo Switch for the 35th anniversary. And if you remember, 10 years ago on the 25th anniversary, they did do a collection of the older games put out on the Nintendo Wii. So we'll see what they have here. Maybe they're trying to up their game quite a bit with the Nintendo Switch now that you have portable development and home console development in one. Does seem like that could be likely. So what are you guys' thoughts on my outlook for 2020? I'm looking forward to a number of these games. I think there's going to be even more surprises for us that we don't know about as well. And there's probably some games that I missed too. So you guys can let me know about all of that in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps up this video here. Check out the link in the description. We've got Twitter. Go ahead and give us a follow on there. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.